NSL को स्थापना हामीले सोचेको कहिले थियो?
I think it was 2019, right before COVID.
And then I suddenly realized we are about to announce Nepal Super League's happening soon in technical partnership with ANFA.
How difficult was it to actually make it happen the first season, okay, for everything to come together?
It wasn't easy, but you know what? That's where the power of resilience comes in.
सुरुमा कन्भिन्स गराउन कतिको गाह्रो भएको थियो?
You require two things. One is financial backing, the other thing is passion. Some lack the financial backing, some lack the passion.
Without advertisement, without sponsorship, is anything like this possible?
For it to start and to sustain, you need all of that.
Okay, opening go plans.
Durgesh Thapa.
Dusman hereko here.
Let's roll from something like this, right? If that's fine with you. Right? All right. How excited is Durgesh ji for this? How excited do you think he is?
Well, I hope he's very excited because we're very excited, you know, because when I was discussing with our team and everyone that, you know, who should we get for the opening, you know, everybody said, you know, we should really get Durgesh Thapa. So when they mentioned this, I went on YouTube and I looked at his video and I was amazed, you know. I mean, his song is like bold. I heard that it's come on the global top 100.
Yes.
Right? And it's like trending. And so I could see why he's so loved, you know. I mean, that energy is amazing. So then, yes, I saw that he's on your podcast. And then I got in touch with you, and things just happened. And you know, our team met him, and he seems to be very excited as well.
I was talking with him last night, होइन हिजो कुरा गर्दै थिएँ मैले अन्त एकदम एक्साइटेड हामी एकदम एक्साइटेड छौँ है एनसेल सुपर लिगको लागि भनेर उहाँले भनिसकेपछि अब केही न केही चाहिँ धुमधडाका चाहिँ हुन्छ नै भनेर होइन अर्को एउटा भिडियो देखाउँछ त्यो ड्रोनको भिडियो छ नि होइन सच अ फ्यान्टास्टिक हो Best of luck. First of all, I just want to start off by saying best of luck, Hazrat Duizanlai and entire team of NSL because the hype is there. People are very excited. It's happening right. It's what 5 days left now?
Yes.
4 to 5 days left. I know it's Saturday, and I just want to understand when was this taken?
So this was the finals last year, December 30th. अनि we were expecting ल हुन्छ स्टेडियम भरिएला भनेर बट यति मान्छे आउला भनेर चाहिँ nor were we prepared, nor were the police prepared. Then suddenly the game is about to kick off and then we've heard that the gates were broken and a lot of people have just entered. So हाम्रो stadiumको capacity is roughly about 16,000. But as per the figures that I got, there were about 19-20,000 people inside and another 18-20,000 people waiting outside. So I think this, in the case of NSL, is probably the most memorable day.
Yeah.
So far, this year we are hoping for bigger things.
I was looking at some details, होइन अनि कस्तो रहेछ भन्दा दशरथ स्टेडियम चाहिँ 69 years ago 1956 मा चाहिँ दशरथ स्टेडियम चाहिँ बनाइएको रहेछ होइन constructed in 1956 that's 69 years ago र अब आएर चाहिँ दशरथ स्टेडियम फुल कपेसिटीमा चाहिँ हुन्छ नि होइन इट्स रनिङ एन्ड यो भिडियो ठ्याक्कै हेर्दाखेरि 69 years ago it was constructed and now when we look back at it it's filled with people and the love and everything is coming together. Okay, so kudos to both of you and the entire NFI team for you know coming together and making this possible. Kudos.
Thank you so much.
All right, NSL भन्ने बित्तिकै I have to start off by asking something to both of you. And 74 years ago चाहिँ ANFA was created 1951 मा रहेछ होइन सो आजको दिनमा NSL को स्थापना आफ्नो ठाउँमा छ हामीले सोचेको कहिले थियो लाइक दिमागमा त्यो आइडिया चाहिँ कहिले फुटाएको थियो
I think it was 2019, right before COVID. And then that time, the then president of ANFA, we were actually उहाँले खास अर्कै कुरा प्रपोज गर्नुभएको थियो स्कुल टुर्नामेन्टको लागि and then we were just sitting and we thought why isn't there a league like you know a football ma like an IPL something not too long we should do a league like that in Nepal. And, you know, things just clicked in place and we signed a contract. Karmaji was the president then and he said we should definitely do this. And then COVID happened. So that's why our first tournament was in 2021. Because till then we couldn't start.
We couldn't just go ahead and kick it off. Yeah. 2019, 2020, like how did the whole thing come together? Like just to get a backstory of it.
So to add on to that, of course,
Yeah.
Nirvana is a very passionate guy, and he's got this thing where he wants to make big announcements on Boisak Ekate and January 1. So I remember we were out on a New Year's party on the 31st of December, and Nirvana said, "You need to come to Hotel Summit tomorrow morning." I'm like, "Okay, for what?" "Oh, just a press conference. I think it's something you'll like." He knows I'm very passionate about sports. So the next morning I showed up at Hotel Summit, and then I suddenly realized we are about to announce Nepal Super League's happening soon in technical partnership with ANFA. And then that was the day he said, "Okay, bro, you're the guy who's going to lead this. So please go ahead, make this happen, make it big." I said, "You give me the responsibility, I'll make it bigger than you're thinking. I just need your support." So he's the brain behind it. Of course, anything like this requires a massive team. So a lot of us working on it. तर सुरुको idea चाहिँ, it was his inspiration to do something on January 1 and Boisak Ekate, which he still does every year.
मलाई यो कुरा चाहिँ म हजुरलाई पनि सेयर गर्छु होइन दाइ हामी लगभग कति 6 महिना 3-4 महिना अगाडि भेट्दाखेरि चाहिँ तिमीलाई थाहा छ कि छैन सञ्जय हामी बिफोर यु डिसाइडेड टु डु सोज विथ अस होइन म त पहिला टेनिस खेल्थेँ नि भनेर भन्नुभयो होइन अनि त्यसपछि मैले ओके भनेर भनेँ मैले अनि लेट आई एक्स माई टिम कि दाइले चाहिँ कुन उमेरमा चाहिँ टेनिस खेल्नु भएको रहेछ भनेर मैले सोद्धाखेरि 18 वर्ष नेसनल प्लेयर नि भनेर मलाई वान अफ माई टिम गाई लभ स्पोर्ट्स होइन हि वाज टेलिङ मी एभ्रिथिङ के यु प्लेड ब्याक इन द डे
Yes, back in the days, म under 18 सम्म चाहिँ I was the national champion as well. So त्यो बेला चाहिँ I used to be very passionate about tennis. I used to be fully dedicated. I thought, okay, maybe I am going to make it big. Or I think I saw Abhishek Bastola also on your show recently. And he's doing a good job. So I was one of those kind of kids trying to make it big. But then, we slowly focused on other things, got into business. And then I still am a passionate tennis lover, but I'm not making so much time for the game.
No, it's gonna come. Hazurlai, did you play games when you were in Mayo?
Yeah.
Or
So when I was in Mayo, I played basketball till state level. And I got selected for nationals as well, but I'm a Nepali national, so obviously I couldn't play nationals. And neither would I have, because I just play. I was good at the sport. A lot of Nepalese, I think Nepalese used to excel in sports in boarding school. Princess Shruti, she was in my school, and, she was a swimming champion. Till I was there, nobody had broken her swimming record. So the best swimmer was named after her.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So a lot of Nepalese in Mayo, I guess because of Princess Shruti, and excelled in sports.
I didn't know that. As you could have had in Malay. Asti, such a funny thing, something different, right? As soon as you mentioned that, right? A couple of days ago, I believe it was 2 days ago, Saturday, we were coming back from a motorcycle ride, Bhaktapur, right? And I really want to get into swimming again. Okay? It doesn't matter. You can pick up a sport just to Malay Laksa, so I'm about to hit 40 soon. And I decided to go to Saddo Bato, swimming pool complex. And this is out of our conversation, that it's somehow related to sports. Most Saddo Bato swimming pool complex ko outdoor matra gaya the, okay? I had never been and I'd never seen the indoor swimming pool section. Okay? Thakka indoor jane bittikai, one of the first things that it's so amazing to be there. It's an indoor swimming pool that when you look on the left and right side of the hall, it's all Olympians photo. Okay? And it feels a sense of pride that I really wanted to join, get this pachi somehow, somewhere, the spirit of sports is in that pool, because the Olympians swim in that pool, and you feel like, okay, let me do something here, so I'm probably going to join very soon. It's the same when we go to Rangasala, isn't it? Don't you feel the same when you step in the stadium?
Absolutely. So, कुनै पनि रङ्गशाला छिर्दाखेरि, I think, you get quite emotional. हाम्रो दशरथ स्टेडियममा पनि म every time छिर्दाखेरि I'm like, whether it's I'm there for a national game, I start missing NSL. I'm like, okay, we need to make this happen. We need to make bigger. But the one thing that really changes, हामीले NSL सुरु गरेपछि, is I'm very passionate about sports. I watch practically all the sports: tennis, football, basketball. I'm watching sports all the time. The angle of how you watch sports, पहिले म त खेलै हेर्थेँ नि. Now I'm more interested in the management. So I look at the branding angle of things. I look at what halftime activities are they're doing. So the whole angle of how you view sports has certainly changed. Yes, हाम्रो दशरथ रङ्गशालाको केसमा अब I think we work very closely with NSC, ANFA. They're planning to upgrade the whole thing as well. It's in the plans. It requires an upgrade, but being in any sports infrastructure stadium is just a beautiful feeling.
It is, ain't it?
It is,
First time
absolutely.
you went to Rangasala, how did it make you feel?
I think the first time I went to Dashrath Rangasala was when I was quite young to watch one of the international matches of Nepal, and Nepal won that match. And that's a feeling, I was probably like 12 or 13, and I'll not forget that, you know. I mean, that sort of like remains with you, watching a Nepal game and Nepal winning with an international country was amazing. I never thought that I'd one day be doing a tournament in Dashrath Rangasala. So it feels amazing.
And now, like, especially when NSL bhaisake चाहिँ now you're actually organizing it, होइन? You're actually the chair of NSL, होइन? So त्यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ stepping into the stadium, how does that feel now? Because you're managing a lot of things.
Yes, the first year I think I was quite nervous. So because it's something very new to me. So I didn't, although I love sports, I always watch football. So I did in England, and then because of him, he's a big Arsenal fan. So because of him, used to sit, watch matches, went to watch games, So I started liking Arsenal as well. Liking and watching football and then starting a league and managing a league is two different ball games, right? So in the beginning, we were also learning. There are a lot of things, because first season, it was COVID season,
Yeah.
We were very excited about it. Around 15 days before NSL started, the COVID cases just went up, and we were told to do it closed doors. That was kind of disappointing for us. But the good thing that came out of it were people were sitting at home, and they were watching NSL. So, on YouTube, on TV, and then people got to know about, the viewership was very high.
Yeah.
So, although we couldn't have fans at the stadium, because of the digital viewership, NSL sort of became popular. And then came second year, and I was very revved up, and I was very excited about second season. And due to some reasons, it couldn't happen, right? And that was kind of disappointing. And, I had many conversations about, maybe we shouldn't do this. I mean, if people don't appreciate what we're doing, and we're doing it, for a great reason, right? So maybe we shouldn't do this. But then Nirvana was like, and I've really learned this from him, like, you should, even challenges teaches you a lot, So he's like, no, one problem comes and you just give up. Why would you give up? Look at all the love you've gotten for your first season. Will you just give up on that? And you're doing so, you're doing great for the players, for the coaches, for the country. Why would you want to stop, right? So then we decided that no matter what happens next season, we're going to do this. Because, it's such a good thing to do, then why should we stop? Okay. And then we sat for a meeting, and we're like, okay, what are the challenges? What are the problems? And then we sorted it out. And then second season happened. And you saw what happened in the finals. And that was an amazing feeling.
First one was Kathmandu, Kathmandu winning it. Second one, of course, we all know the lack is, ekdam sajilo hisabma bhanchu, I'm sure Kalyan and team must be smiling right now, lack is took over. No, the challenges, किनभने यो किन important छ भने this is for the future Ashratas to go ahead and learn, or at least get inspiration from, and right, future you, I always think about a 18-year-old kid thinking that म पनि गर्न सक्छु, म पनि केही न केही सुरु गर्न सक्छु भनेर, हैन? You guys thought about starting a league. Impossible to do, Timothy, a woman-led. Let me be honest here, होइन? हाम्रोमा almost majority कुराहरू भनौँ न 95% it's all men-led.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Sports is very male-dominated.
एकदमै niche छ, होइन? So again, to create it, त्यो बसेर त्यो बनाउन पनि के त्यो कतिको डिफिकल्ट थियो कि किनभने टाढाबाट हेर्दाखेरि के लाग्छ भने यसलाई सबै थोक थियो होला, प्रिभिलेज थियो होला, कनेक्सन थियो होला, नेटवर्क थियो होला, हैन? I know people who have all of that and are not able to execute. I'm going to be honest here. At least I have a little bit of network, and I understand how difficult it is to do things even when you have a network all the resources. How difficult was it to actually make it happen the first season, okay, for everything to come together?
So first season, when our whole team, we sat together and decided that I was going to lead it, and, something has to said about men like Nirvana, him, our rest of our team, saying that a woman should lead it, So when men support women, it's amazing things can happen, right? So when I wasn't even sure of myself, they believed in me that I could lead this. And when I used to go for meetings, forget about leading. I used to sometimes feel like I shouldn't even be in the room, because they used to feel like, okay, what does she know about leading a league? And I've had to learn. I've learned a lot along the way. I didn't go into this thinking, oh, I know it all. Not at all. First season to second season to third season, it's been a learning process. And I'm still learning.
Yeah.
We're all still learning, right? And every year we try to do better. It wasn't easy, but you know what? That's where the power of resilience comes in. So what happens is challenges come, right? But you don't sit on that challenge and be like, oh, I'm going to give up. Oh, let's not do this. You find another way to get over that challenge. If this doesn't work out, okay, this is not working out. Let's find a solution. If we can't find a solution, let's do something else instead. So I think that's how we've gone ahead.
Yo 23 go ni हैन
Yes.
तस्बिर त यो 23 को तस्बिर हो नि हैन
Yeah.
गेटिङ द टिम्स टुगेदर सुरुमा 9 वटा टिम थियो नि हैन ओपन थियो के इलाम पनि थियो अनि त्यसपछि हाम्रो वीरगञ्ज
So the first season we had 7 teams. It was Biratnagar.
विराटनगर सरी
Yes. त्यसपछि second season ma Biratnagar dropped out and we had 3 new teams.
हो
Then the number went up to 9. And this time we had Birganj and Ilam leave. So we have 7 teams. There was a lot of interest on people to come and take a new team. But we wanted to keep it in sort of initially your vision गर्दाखेरि पनि first season मा 7 किन थियो नि त्यो बेलामा भक्कर provincial system आथ्यो. So we were like, shall we go provincial? So that, exactly, that was the whole idea. तर हामीले अर्को कुरा के पनि realize गर्यौं भने त्यो बेलामा अझ पनि I think one or two of the states still don't have a name. It was a number system, right? So I don't know how people would find how they would really relate to that number. So we said, okay, it has to be a city-based thing. So then we changed to a city-based thing. Oile football ma, I don't think we are ready. Nepali football is not ready to have a 10-12 team and a very long league, because there are multiple leagues that run in Nepal. So you have to
respect everybody.
Yes, absolutely. So we want to do it more like in a festival kind of spirit. It's a 1.5 month tournament. So we've got 7 teams for now.
सुरुमा कन्भिन्स गराउन कतिको गाह्रो भएको थियो?
It was a bit of a challenge. We had all kinds of people, some that had too many questions, and in sports, to run a team, you require 2 things. One is financial backing, the other thing is passion. Some lack the financial backing, some lack the passion. But over time, all of them have come into this situation where there is a good mix of passion pani cha, and they found their partners, they found investors, and they're doing it in the right way. So I think हाम्रो लागि biggest challenge भनेको is sustainability. So what we tell them is, let's grow slowly. That we cannot think of straight away getting a big name and getting him to play on the pitch. That's not how it works. So let's go with a long-term plan. And I think now the system is sort of more aligned, where हाम्रो र 7 वटा टिमको चाहिँ एकदम कुरा एकदमै मिल्छ भनौँ न.
Aligned छ हैन? In the beginning, हजुरको thought process मा टिम्सहरुलाई कन्भिन्स गराउनको लागि?
It wasn't that easy because, it requires, it's capital intensive. So it requires a lot of investment, But there were teams, like he said, who were very passionate about football, who wanted to do something. So, they were like, okay. It took some convincing, but they were like, we were in. And there were others saying, oh, no, I don't know, football isn't doing that well in Nepal. We don't know if we should invest. And these were people who might have had capital, but weren't really convinced if investing in football was the right thing to do. So it took us time, but once they were convinced, they were in.
Once they were convinced. First, कुन टिम आएको थियो भन्नु मिल्छ?
The first team, I think, was Lalitpur.
Lalitpur.
The first team was Lalitpur. The first contract signed was Lalitpur, as far as I remember. तर हाम्रो just for example, Subhashji from Dhangadi, he was the guy who actually started the first franchise league.
Very passionate about sports.
So he was one of the first people we approached as well. But contractually, I think it was Lalitpur that we closed first.
Oh, nice. FC ko Lalitpur City FC ko pani. No, I know the guys. I know they're all friends. I know, and they're very passionate about it. So, alikati run down garau na. So we've got Espali, we've got Butwal Lumbini, I know Butwal Lumbini. We've got Dhangadi FC, Chitwan FC, Jhapa Football Club, and त्यसपछि Kathmandu FC, Lalitpur City, अनि Pokhara Thunders.
That's right.
This is the lineup that we have for this year. Sponsorship, है र थोरै nitty-gritty is about the aspect of getting everything together. Okay, and again, this is for future friends who want to maybe start a league, maybe start a business, maybe do anything, you know, making all of that together. Okay, without advertisement, without sponsorship, is anything like this possible?
Without advertisement or sponsorship? Very difficult, because that, you know, any league, so for it to start and to sustain, you need all of that. It's a combination of sponsorships, you know, and you need advertisers, and even for the teams, you know, they can't keep putting in all the capital investment themselves. They need sponsors to sort of like sustain. Maybe first year you can do it. Okay, let's say first year, okay, let's not take sponsors, let's take on advertisers. But if you want to go long term, and for a league to sustain, it's important to go long term, right? So you need that, because that's the whole ecosystem of sports.
Yeah.
That's how it thrives. That's how it lasts. So you need that.
And how difficult was it to make sure that everything worked out in the first one and in the second one, and even now?
So every season it gets easier, right? So first season was tougher to get on sponsors. Second season it got a little easier, and third season this time we have NSEL on board. You know, we have some great brands which have come on board. So it's gotten easier, but still I think that sort of like investment in sport is lacking. So it'll take some time to develop that market where companies come together and invest more in sports.
हाम्रोमा चाहिँ कस्तो रहेछ कि त्यो स्पोर्ट्स अब जस्तै मैले अघि नै भने नि होइन एन्फाको स्थापना नै भएको आजको दिनमा इट्स बिन 74 इयर्स होइन एन्फाको फर्मेसन भएको फिफामा मेम्बर भएको हामी 55 वर्ष भइसकेको रहेछ इट्स बिन 55 इयर्स इन 1970 वी बिकेम अ फिफा मेम्बर रहेछ होइन हामीले पहिलो इन्टरनेसनल म्याच चाइनासँग खेलेका रहेछौँ 53 इयर्स अगो कतै न कतैबाट हेर्दाखेरि साउथ एसियन गेम्समा गोल्ड मेडल हामीले 32 वर्ष अगाडि ल्याएर रहेछौँ होइन तर आजको दिनमा पनि इट्स अ हार्ड रियालिटी आई टु बी भेरी अनेस्ट हो किनभने मेरै टेबलमा कोही प्लेयर बस्नु भएको छ भने त्यो प्लेयरले दाइ म अस्ट्रेलिया जानु पर्यो अथवा म विदेशिनु पर्यो भने होइन त्योभन्दा दुःख त के होला दाइ भनेर यही टेबलमा भने हो कि मलाई बाँच्न त पुग्नु पर्यो नि दाइ एक लेभलको एउटा स्ट्यान्डर्ड मेन्टेन गर्ने आम्दानी त होस् मेरो भनेर यही टेबलमा बनायो नि त मलाई प्लेयरले होइन सो यत्रो वर्षपछि होइन अब ए डिभिजन लिग गरेकै अब हाम्रो 70 वर्षभन्दा माथि भइसक्यो होइन भनेपछि त्यहाँसम्म चाहिँ हामी पुग्यौँ कसरी जस्तो लाग्छ कि हजुरहरूलाई
So sports as an entire ecosystem, for it to work, there are too many stakeholders in this. To start with, in terms of infrastructure development, I think the government needs to play a big role. Similarly, हाम्रो ANFA, the Football Association for Nepal, उहाँहरूको पनि role is very important. Then it all comes down to the fans, right, at the end of the day. आजको दिनमा हामी, let's say for an example, go to an LOD, we're willing to pay a lot of money, go to a music concert, we're willing to pay a lot of money. But आजको दिनसम्म पनि रङ्गशालामा 500 रुपियाँको टिकट बेच्न पर्यो भने it's a challenge, right? So त्यो अब आज मिडियाकै कुरा गरौँ भने पनि a lot of focus is on lot of the negative things. खेलाडी बाहिर गयो किन गयो त्यसमा बढी फोकस छ. If the focus slowly goes towards, okay, what about the new talent that's coming? So it's not, similarly, हामी private organizations, we are reluctant to invest big time in sports. So for this entire ecosystem to work, the responsibility comes all the way from the government down to the public. So, for this ecosystem to work, for players to be happy about what's happening, we need regular football activities. We need to make sure they are paid well. आजको दिनमा NSL ले गर्दाखेरि भनौँ न, a marquee player like an Anjan, he would probably make about 15 lakhs playing a NSL, which is a 1 month duration. So that is where we are trying to change the economics of the game. तर यो entire ecosystemलाई work गर्न र for football to get to a newer heights, it's not only one or two things that will change it. It's the entire mindset of the nation.
Yeah, so, one thing I've realized in Nepal is people don't understand the potential of sports. It can be a huge tool for economic and social development, right? And even African countries have understood that, right? We're yet to understand that. And I don't think we have people in the right place who sort of understand that, So if you get in, the right kind of policies to help sports prosper, I think there's a huge potential, I mean, just one tournament can generate so much money for the country. And people don't realize that yet. But if the right person, puts these policies in place, sports in general can thrive in Nepal, because there are a lot of talented people here. धेरै मान्छे छ क्या यहाँ ट्यालेन्ट भएको होइन गाउँ गाउँमा जस्तो हाम्रो टिम्सहरूले योपालि आफ्नो आफ्नो क्षेत्रमा गएर यो रुकी प्लेयर्सहरूको लागि ट्यालेन्टहरू गर्दा अमेजिङ देयर इज सो मच ट्यालेन्ट वी टकिङ अबाउट उहाँ बाहिर जानुभयो एन्ड अल अफ द्याट बट वाट अबाउट अल द न्यू ट्यालेन्ट द्याट्स कमिङ इन के सो देयर इज अ लट अफ इट एन्ड if सबै कुरा राम्ररी गर्यो भने all these kids today 10 years from now they might be playing who knows at very good clubs around the world.
Yeah, and there's no shadow of a doubt in that. म बुटोल लुम्बिनीको टिमसँग क्याजुअली कुरा गर्दै थिएँ अनि उहाँहरूले पनि के सेयर गर्नुभएको थियो भन्दाखेरि दाइ हामीले चाहिँ उतै नै क्याम्प गरेका छौँ हामीले सबै उतै नै गरेका छौँ अनि त्यसपछि सानसानो भाइ बाबु नानीहरू आएर चाहिँ हेर्छन् अनि त्यताबाट पनि प्रब्ली दे गन गेट इन्सपायर्ड भनेर चाहिँ दे हेड सेड द्याट के होइन बुटोल लुम्बिनीले उतै गरेको छ क्यारे मैले त्यो ठाउँ चाहिँ एक्ज्याक्टली कता भनेर चाहिँ मैले ठ्याक्क बिर्सेँ त्यो उहाँहरूको ग्राउन्ड चाहिँ
अहिले चाहिँ उनीहरूको क्लोज क्याम्प चाहिँ उतै भइरहेछ. So Butol Lumbini as a club, they're quite active in Butol around the year. They're participating in other tournaments as well. They're running an academy of their own there. So they're quite active that way. And so of course, हामीले खेल आजको दिनमा काठमाडौँमा गराउँदाखेरि for first season the champions were Kathmandu. Second season it was Lalitpur, right? So now for them to connect with the fan base, it's important for them to do these kind of activities in their home ground.
Go back, show it. Actually, I just want to show everybody this. यो बुटोल लुम्बिनीको पेजमा हामी हेर्दैछौँ होइन अनि कस्तो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ के यङ किड्स लाइक एक्ज्याक्टली लाइक वाट यु सेड हुन्छ नि दिज आर द फ्युचर अन्जन्स अफ नेपाल होइन फ्यान्टास्टिक नो कुडोज टु टिम थोरै टिममा कन्भर्सेसन गरौँ न बुटोल लुम्बिनी नितेश मालपानीजी अनि आई बिलिभ माइकीमा मनिषी हुनुहुन्छ होइन हाउ इज द टिम?
It's looking like a good team. They've got Manish, they've got Arik, so it's looking like a good team. They did not make it to the playoffs last time, but hopefully this time they're looking like a strong unit.
I know that's what they were sharing. Dhangadi FC, Subhashi has all the insights already. What do you want to share about them?
So Dhangadi, they've been 2-time finalists, right? They always come up with यसो auctionमा हेर्दाखेरि त्यस्तो राम्रो त गरे जस्तो लाग्दैन but they always put up a strong unit. They've got 2 great foreign players in Hizazi and Olawale Hafiz. So I see them getting pretty far in the tournament.
There you go. One by one, we just want to quickly touch base on it. Last 2 seasons, wow, अब यसपालिको हेर्नुपर्ने चाहिँ के हुन्छ भनेर होइन फाइनल्स always exciting नि.
Dhangadi also has a lot of passionate fans. I was surprised. For the finals, they came in droves, bus ma, plane ma. Dhangadi ko fans, although Lalitpur is like, yehiko team, right? But Dhangadi bada yati manche athyo and I was amazed to see their passionate fans.
उता सुदूरपश्चिमको आफ्नै छ के उताको साथीहरूमा अर्कै खाले त्यो एउटा मनमा अर्कै खाले रमाइलो भाव छ कि होइन प्लस आई लभ कर्णाली हुन्छ नि आई लभ द्याट साइड हुन्छ नि मलाई त्यो अझ उता बाँके बर्दिया झन् अर्कै खाले रमाइलो लाग्छ कि मलाई उता होइन सो नो दिस इज अमेजिङ चितवन
Chitwan, we've got Sachin leading the team, young guy, he's got the energy, he himself is a brilliant footballer. Ule जहिले पनि बाहिरबाट नयाँ नयाँ ट्यालेन्टहरू खोजेर ल्याउनु that's always his priority. They've got Torek, who's a very good player, and he's come back again.
Anjanji हुनुहुन्छ?
Yes, Anjan is the marquee, so I would say, they've got a strong unit too. Chitwan somehow have been unlucky the last 2 seasons. They've not performed very well.
त्यही भन्न लाग्थ्यो मैले
So Sachin चाहिँ यो पालि अलि जोशमा छ. So I think Chitwan पनि I see them doing very well this year.
No, Josh, Sachin, I have to say this, he has a lot of Josh. I was seeing during the Chitwan matches, he had this drum with him, and he was playing with his hands, and they were bleeding. You know, so yeah, that's the kind of passion.
It wasn't the drums; it was the chairs in front of it.
But his hands were bleeding. I remember that.
मैले के अरे मेयर साहबको रेणुदाजीको भिडियो पनि मैले हेरेको थिएँ होइन हामीले जस्ट क्विक टच बेस गरेर कता कता पुर्यायौँ हामीले हाम्रो ट्रोफी सबैतिर गइसक्यो
So yeah, so now it's coming back from Pokhara, and then we've got the last 2 cities, Kathmandu and Lalitpur, left.
Okay.
So now the trophy tour is going to be in.
The mayor is very supportive, होइन
Right.
to in so many different things, होइन so again kudos to them. हजुर जानुभयो recently चितवन
No, I wasn't there for the trophy tour as such.
Okay.
I was there maybe about 2 months ago.
हामी अस्ति कता पोखरा
पोखरामा भेट भयो.
मैले त्यो गरेर
Yes,
रहेछु होइन
yes.
ओके पोखरा झापा FC Orbanji and entire team
These guys are passionate. You know, when I talk about passion, Zappa FC, again, हामीलाई पूर्वमा फुटबलको क्रेज त थाहा छँदै नै छ होइन. So they have a strong fan base. We don't see their presence so much in the stadium, but I hope the Zappa numbers show up this time.
यसपालि झापाली साथीहरू आउनुहुन्छ होला
Exactly.
होइन माथि जाउँ त उहाँहरूको म्यास्कट हात्ती हो के अरे हो त हो होइन there you go that's Zappa FC यसपालि के specific that they are working on when it comes to players
I haven't heard any big names अहिलेसम्म उनीहरूले international लिएर आएको. I think they still have 1 slot open.
Okay.
But they are also going to be getting an NRN. If I'm not mistaken, Pokhara र Zappa FC को चाहिँ एउटा NRN को announcement पनि बाँकी छ. So we've created an NRN category
I
because
know.
basically the idea behind this is, you know, we have so many of the boys in Australia, in other parts of the world, and why not give them an opportunity to come back home and play some football is the idea.
spend a month and a half in Nepal
Yes.
होइन त्यो एकदम राम्रो लाग्यो 6 जना फरेन अनि आइकनिक पनि साथसाथै साउथ इस्ट एसियाको पनि
Yes,
यता
there's an Asian category.
Asian
So 6 जनामा एकजना चाहिँ Asian हुनै पर्यो.
हुनै पर्यो होइन अनि एकजना रुकी डीमा एकजना सीमा 4 जना बीमा 6 जना एमा 2 to 3
2 or 3.
or 3 होइन त्यो अनुसार अनि मार्की त भइहाल्यो होइन अलराइट अब काठमाडौँ चान्सेस के छ काठमाडौँ
Kathmandu, they've built a very strong unit, not just in terms of the team, but also in management. They've had some changes. We've got Piyush working there as the CEO
Yeah,
now,
I
and
know.
Piyush has got a lot of football knowledge as well. So they're trying to do new things. I'm excited to see Kathmandu as well this year. I think they're going to do something good.
Piyush भन्ने बित्तिकै I've known Piyush for a very long time होइन and with the credibility that he brings with all the knowledge that he brings it's maybe के थाहा यसपालि फेरि काठमाडौँमा
Yeah, and they were quite lucky in the auction this time, Kathmandu.
Yes, they got their players.
होइन रोहनजी हुनुहुन्छ होइन देखाउ त
Yes.
काठमाडौँको there you go what do you think Dee, what do you think
Kathmandu has good potential. They've got some good foreign players, and last year they were not that lucky in the auction. But this year, Kathmandu got quite lucky in the auction. So it'll be interesting to see the Kathmandu games.
होइन अब I'll leave the reigning for the last Pokhara Thunders
Pokhara Thunders पनि, you know, again, just like Dhangadi, Pokharaको पनि एकदम passionate fansहरू. We always see them at the stadium. They've built a pretty decent unit, and they've tied up with some club in Malaysia as well. So what they're doing is they're trying to bring a lot of players that's playing the leagues around there. So it's going to be interesting to
And
see
also
there.
the Nepalese players here will get an opportunity to go there and play as well.
and play as well होइन होइन उताको साउथ इस्ट एसियाको हिसाबले नै हामीले हेर्छौँ नि होइन कि साउथ इस्ट एसियाबाट चाहिँ हु अल क्यान बी पिक भन्ने हिसाबले कि के गर्दो रहेछन् टिम्सले
So हामीले चाहिँ last year we tried to do the Southeast Asia thing. यो पालि we thought let's just leave it to Asia.
ओके
So Asia भन्दाखेरि अब फुटबलको कन्टेक्समा अस्ट्रेलियाको प्लेयर्सहरू also qualify as Asia because they play World Cup qualifiers with the Asian continent, right?
Oh.
So basically every 6 जनामा जुन हाम्रो आइकनिक भनिन्छ आइकनिक भनेको चाहिँ a player of Nepalese origin playing in a foreign league.
ओके
So, for example, a Lakin Limbu could be an iconic. He's come in as a marquee.
Oh.
Similarly, Kiran was playing leagues outside. We've got Rohit playing in Indonesia. So these are the probable iconic players. Of course, with them, there's no certainty because they're playing other leagues outside and the availability of the dates. And football has a lot of technicalities. You cannot represent more than 2 clubs in a season. So there's a lot of technicalities behind these things and how it can be executed or not.
When it comes to, right before I come to the final club, when it comes to goodwill ambassadors as well, maybe iconic players like goodwill ambassadors ko hisabले पनि हामी ल्याउन सक्छौं कि male female, it doesn't matter, but त्यस्तो के plan छ NSL को?
So right now, in both international and domestic context, right now the women's football team is very popular. Exactly.
So she's doing so well.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
I met with Samba before she left for France, and I really wanted to onboard her in some or the other way, and like just help us hype up NSL as such, and also give her other opportunities. Then we've got Preeti Rai, who is requiring security now when she's walking around. That's literally how popular she's become, and we want to involve them in various ways in NSL.
Yeah.
And apart from that, of course, we'll also hopefully in the coming days be announcing a big international star.
That's one of my interests. I want to start a women's league. I want to give these amazing women their platform to shine. I really want to do that. So, yes, as a woman in the future, I definitely...
म थोरै CNI को touch base गर्छु ल, because you're on the board,
Yes.
This was fantastic. Could you share a bit about this?
So, so every year in CNI, the Women Leadership Summit, we award, women, women who've been, are young upcoming women who are changing things for the better. And we were just in discussions, and I sort of said, why don't we honor someone in sports, because that doesn't happen often. And my board absolutely agreed. And they said, why don't you suggest? Why don't you suggest a player whom we can honor, And then I thought of Preeti. And so got in touch with her, and she came, and she was very gracious about it, and she was very happy. So yeah, it felt amazing to honor someone from this field.
And I personally want to go ahead and say that CNI को teamलाई पनि म thank you very much भन्न चाहन्छु, र Chaya ma'am हजुरलाई entire teamलाई म thank you भन्न चाहन्छु for having me on board as well, and it felt really nice. Every year I look forward to it. Okay?
Yes, and we look forward to having you there as well.
So this was amazing to see, Yeah. Okay, coming back to our final team, अनि त्यसपछि reigning champions, Lalitpur City FC, यो entire team ले चाहिँ how त्यो winning luck मात्र पनि होइन नि त, त्यसको लागि सबै थोक चाहिन्छ, team को support चाहिन्छ, सबै थोक चाहिन्छ. Lalitpur City FC लाई कसरी describe गर्ने, because like you mentioned earlier, I also didn't know that उहाँहरू सबसे पहिला हुनुहुन्थ्यो to sign up for NSL, back in the day. So as a good team, how does the team work? Obviously, I'll ask the team owners as well, but you're as being the chair and MD of NSL, Lalitpur City FC?
Yes, they are basically हाम्रो management को हिसाबले हेर्ने भने they lead by example.
Yeah.
They start off with a culture. They've got a great management. Kalyani is very passionate about sports. He's sometimes playing the basketball corporate league. Then he's also supporting a lots of sports people, which is
a lot of encouragement.
A very good initiative.
Many other sports as well.
So in terms of management and what they've been doing, last year they had a great foreign coach. This year, Simon Grayson is somebody who's been the coach for Leeds United. He was recently with Bengaluru FC in the ISL. So, they believe in investing in these kind of things. They understand that management can make a huge impact. And if you look at the entire team, I'm not talking about the players, I'm talking about the team behind executing the whole tournament. They have got a great team. Yopali squad pani, again, they've retained Ananta.
Oh.
So Ananta is the marquee, and that guy is capable of doing good things.
Also, they have Mayor Saab, Chiri Babuji. I have to mention that.
Yes.
So supportive, And I always, whenever I meet him, I tell him that he's the lucky mascot of Lalitpur. Because, when I was sitting up there, every time he missed a match, Lalitpur lost. But every time he was there, they won. So I was telling Kalyan, and you just make sure that he's there if you really want to win. Because, I noticed that every time he was there, you won.
Mayor
and
Sahib
very
चाहियो.
supportive.
Mayor Sahib चाहियो हामीलाई त्यसमा हैन. See, I'm based out of Lalitpur हैन. I love this city and the mayor has been a gem of a person to us as well हैन. Wow, okay. There you go.
Oh, and they have Jeffrey, the goalkeeper, amazing player. They've got him again this time. Became very popular last time.
There you go. म ठ्याक्कै यो कुरिरहेको थिएँ होइन. ओ there you go. मेरो साहब चाहिँ हुनुहुन्छ होइन. थोरै हामीले अघि नै आइएसएलको कुरा गरिहाल्यौँ है. म थोरै जोड्न चाहन्छु ल. आइएसएल 2014मा चाहिँ सुरु भएर रहेछ. मैले अघि नै हामी अफेयर पनि थोरै कुरा गर्दै थियौँ होइन. आजको दिनमा आइएसएल कतै न कतैबाट 102 102nd पोजिसन फिफा ऱ्याङ्किङ रहेछ. अब इन्डिया होल्ड्स 102nd पोजिसन फिफा ऱ्याङ्किङ होइन. एक जमाना थियो जब आई बिलिभ हामी अगाडि थियौँ के अरे होइन.
We were at par and sometimes we'd be ahead and sometimes they'd be ahead, but we were pretty much at par.
आइएसएल obviously अब इट्स उताको होइन. तर उताबाट पनि हामीले के इन्सपिरेसन ल्याछौँ. Anything that we've learned from ISL?
Yes, I would say yes. ISL has its own challenges. In India, I speak to a lot of people involved in sports in India.
Oh.
And they say cricket ma je gare pani bigcha India ma. Aru sport ma je garna khoje pani bigदैन. Right? So that's a challenge that they have. But like you rightly pointed out, they were 175, we were 172, 175, both always there. And you look, it's been about 11 years since the inception of ISL. And today India has broken into the top hundreds as well. They might be at 102 right now, but I think they made it up to 92, 93 if I'm not wrong. So also they have a longer format.
Oh.
Now there's ISL and there's I-League. ISL has now become the Premier League of India. So, these kind of things with regular football activities, the rankings will go up. र हाम्रो नेपालको केसमा चाहिँ अहिले अलिकति च्यालेन्जिङ भनेको इरेगुलारिटी अफ फुटबलले नै गर्दा हो. सो इफ वी अल्सो स्लोली मुभ टु अ प्याटर्न वे एनएसएल हेज अ फिक्स क्यालेन्डर happens on a yearly basis for 1.5, 2 months. We've got the A, B, and C division happening. That is the right format for things to progress forward.
From 175, we'll definitely come closer to the other number. एन्फासँगको रिलेसनसिप यो जोडिहालौँ न आजको दिनमा होइन. आज 2025मा छौँ हामी होइन. हाउ इज द रिलेसनसिप नाउ सिन्स वी आर डुइङ द थर्ड सिजन एन्ड अगेन ups and downs, but आजको दिनमा कस्तो रिलेसनसिप?
It's pretty good. We work with them very closely. हामीले उहाँलाई रोयल्टी तिर्छौँ. We refer to them as a technical partner. So a lot of the digital rights, the commercial rights, it stays with us. But a lot of the technical management and support is required from their end. So we work very closely. Of course, there is, when you work with anyone, even between me and my sister, we have disagreements every now and then. So it's not like we don't have our disagreements with ANFA.
Yeah, sometimes we don't agree on the same things, but then we find a solution. We've always found a solution with them, yeah.
त्यो चाहिँ कतै न कतैबाट मिल्दै जानुपर्छ होइन. होइन यसमा अघि नै मैले भने नि त्यो च्यालेन्जेसको हिसाबले there's going to be multiple challenges and there's going to be tons of things that need to be worked out. I want to talk about another sport for a while, and I'm sure both of you already know which sport I'm talking about. होइन क्रिकेटले फड्को मारेछ होइन, त्यसमा कुनै डाउटै छैन. What do you really think of how NPL was planned and executed आजको दिनमा? When we look back आजको दिनमा होइन, what's your thought on it?
I mean, to the entire Cricket Association of Nepal, I've got to say these guys did an incredible job. The hype they made, the way the event was executed, I would say the best sports event in the country ever held.
Yeah. Kudos to Can, Paras Kharka, the entire team. Kudos to them for doing a great job at NPL.
केही लर्निङ कर्भ हामीले त्यहाँबाट पाएको, एनएसएलले त्यहाँबाट सिक्न खोजेको, किनभने अरूको हेरेर पनि त हामीले त सिक्न त पाउँछौँ नि त नि होइन.
Football र क्रिकेटमा there are lots of differences. There are lots of things that we can learn from them. There are probably some things that they can also learn from us. For example, sports ko ecosystem हेर्नु is the same thing. For example, we were the first sports event to introduce a pure ground body LED perimeter board in the last season. Now, because of that ecosystem, it helped them. Then NPL did a few things. We are learning from them. So it's I think a give and take. But the main difference between where football and cricket is at the moment. Cricket as we are a World Cup playing nation.
Yeah.
right? We compete at a very high level and we are performing well. फुटबलको केसमा हेऱ्यो भने आजको दिनमा हाम्रो ऱ्याङ्किङ वी आर नट डुइङ भेरी वेल. हाम्रो इन्टरनेसनल पर्फर्मेन्सेस हेभ नट बिन एट आई वुन्ट से बी एक्सेप्सनल बट दे आर डुइङ ओके. सिमिलरली हाम्रो नेसनल टिमको यहाँ गेम्सहरू पनि भइरहेको छैन. अहिले रिसेन्टली पनि इनफ्याक्ट टुडे वी आर प्लेइङ मलेसिया for the Asian Cup qualifiers. So if these kind of activities, happen at the Dashrath Stadium and the fans get roaring again, that's when things starts changing. Cricket ma orko euta kura bhaneko, we heard some big names like we were just talking about it some time back, Shikhar Dhawan. Cricket ma ajako dinma Nepal ma adja pani euta Jimmy Neesham, Martin Guptill, Shikhar Dhawan. You can bring these guys and
the hype is going to be there. The noise is going to be
the
created.
noise is going to be there, and of course the NPL teams are spending a lot more money than the NSL teams, but it's still possible. आजको दिनमा हामीले एउटा कुनै टप फुटबलरले यहाँ खेल्न ल्याउँ भन्यो भने it's a distant dream because the kind of
expensive,
commercials that's required, and also the calendar does not allow for a lot of footballers.
अस्ति केपी ओली कपमा बुफन आएको त्यो हाइप थियो, मान्छेले मन पराएको थियो.
Absolutely.
The legendary player, right? I mean, absolutely. There was so much hype. I mean, like, hats off to them for being able to get such a legendary player.
There you go. Oh yeah, we definitely saw this too. New tech being added onto Rangasala. म थोरै अघिनको एउटा कुरा टच बेस गर्नु मलाई पारस खड्काको फेसबुक पेजमा गएर होइन, फेसबुक वा इन्स्टाग्राम जुनमा गएर पनि टियुमा चाहिँ हामीले फ्लड लाइट्सको अलमोस्ट फाइनल भयो भन्ने कुरा हामीले हिजो कि अस्ति
just 2 days
यो 1-2 दिन अगाडि हामीले हेरेका थियौँ होइन. यो एकपल्ट गो ब्याक त सो द्याट टु एभ्रीबडी. देयर यु गो होइन यो उहाँले लेखेको होइन पछाडि जाउँ त गो ब्याक. लामो सपना फाइनली चाहिँ यो पुरा हुँदैछ है भनेर उहाँले लेख्नु भएको थियो कि होइन. मलाई यो बडो मन पराएको थियो कि धेरैजनालाई छोएको पनि थियो कुरा होइन. अब आजको दिनमा अलिकति रिभर्स जाउँ होइन. अब रङ्गशालाको अस्ति भर्खरको न्युज पनि छ होइन. सो गभर्मेन्टले साथ दियो भने छोटो समयमा एकदमै काया पलट गर्न सकिन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ हजुरहरूलाई फुटबलमा पनि?
आजको दिनमा हामीले हेऱ्यौँ भने अझ पनि फुटबलको इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर काठमाडौँ बाहिर पनि कति ठाउँमा छ. Cricket is just taking off. Yes, considering where we are doing, how well we are doing internationally in cricket, it does make sense for the government to inject some money there. किनभने हाम्रो एउटा floodlight as a TU-मा seating पनि एउटा proper थिएन होइन. So it was certainly the need of the hour, and this needed great attention. तर long run मा football को पनि infrastructure, for example, maybe a renovation of the Dashrath Stadium. In fact, recently I want to share with you, we really wanted to take NSL to Pokhara this time. And that's when I met you there. And we were just going around the stadium, and it's a beautiful infrastructure. You've got Matcha Pusre at
background,
the back.
wow. Nice.
And I was like, wow, it would be lovely to do this NSL here. तर त्यो infrastructure बन्यो, तर त्यसमा game नभएपछि त्यसको maintenance छैन. The other things that's required, for example, the dressing room is empty. There's a huge space for the commentary, production, all of that, but it just, there's nothing in there, right? So when these kind of things start changing, and it's not about only investing. Once you invest, you need to maintain. So Pokhara is also a beautiful stadium. We've got floodlights even actually in Biratnagar. That is another place, Purvama football ko craze bhako hunale, that is something we want to explore in the future. But yes, infrastructure definitely plays a huge role in sports, and we hope both cricket and football.
Our teams also, they lack enough training grounds, So they've mentioned this to us a couple of times, and that's being in Kathmandu itself also, they lack that. So imagine outside Kathmandu.
के हुन्छ भनेर होइन. भविष्यमा विराटनगर पोखरा पोसिबिलिटी पोखराको धेरै छ कि विराटनगरको धेरै छ एनएसएल हुने?
So next year we might be adding a team or two. If Biratnagar comes in as a franchise, then we might think of Biratnagar किनभने त्यहाँ floodlights. हामीले सुरुदेखि नै NSL हामीले कोभिडको बेलामा the recommendations we got was अब कोभिड हो सबैजना घरमा छ किन बेलुका गर्न पर्यो किन बेकारमा तेलमा खर्च गर्ने. We said no, it's a culture we need to set. Because this year we might do it in the daytime, but अर्को वर्ष पनि daytime गरेर त हुँदैन. Let's set that culture, Let's do it under the floodlights. It's a closed door event, but let's do it under the floodlights. Let's set that. And since then, what has happened is all the national games are also happening under floodlights. some of the major finals for the A division, all happening under the floodlights. So I don't think हामी काठमाडौँ जस्तो एउटा मेट्रोपोलिटन सिटीमा बसेर मान्छेलाई 12-1 बजे फुटबल हेर्न हो भन्यो भने आई थिङ्क द्याट्स अ च्यालेन्ज. So that's something we set in season 1, that this is surely the road we're going.
And that's the road that cricket's probably going to go, and the other sports are going to go down the road as well. Right. That's the road that everybody's going to go ahead and take. No, that's why. As a good din mein running, this is slightly related to business. Running a league, the finances around it. Of course, everything has to come to play. How challenging is that?
Quite challenging, I would say, because it's very doing a league is very capital intensive, so the longer the duration, the more capital you require. So it's not easy, and trying to convince sponsors to come in to invest in sports. I mentioned to you before also. In the first season, it was quite difficult, but with the second and third, it's gotten a little easier. But it's still not what it is in most other countries where sport, there's heavy investment in sport. So people don't realize how capital intensive it is. It's for our teams, for us, for everyone involved. It's doing a league is very expensive.
NSL is going to be profitable, hopefully down the road. What's the silver lining?
So profitability is something that we are not thinking of right now.
Okay.
Sustainability is, hopefully we need to inject less and less money by the running years. मैले अघि नै पनि भने अब टिकट रेभेन्यूहरुमा पनि you cannot charge exorbitant prices. There's so many challenges. So the financial aspect is one, Sanjay, but of course she's saying with every year it's getting easier. For me, with every passing year it's getting more difficult. Because what's happening is how to make it bigger. When you need to make it bigger, it's not only the capital intensive factor.
And people's expectations also get bigger. That's true.
That's of course.
Yeah.
It's the amount of time you have to put into it, Sanjay. So, believe me, the last 3 months, NSL as such is the single hardest thing I've done in my life, right? And, it takes a lot of time. I run a few other small businesses. I need to put them aside. I say, okay, these next 3-4 months, I'm going to give it to NSL and I'm going to make it happen. And, we all work as a team, but Chairperson, of course, she's got certain roles and responsibilities. At the ground, I'm creating a team. And, there are so many challenges, Sanjay. It is seriously, it takes a toll in a very different way. Get to spend less time with my son, my wife, all those things. And everything, like, if my phone's away for a while, I probably have 30 missed calls by now. So there are lots of challenges around it. But, the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. So, at the end of the day, we'll make it happen and we'll make it big.
Power of resilience, I told you. It's not been easy. It's been very challenging. Doing NSL has, from the first year, then I told you about the problems we had in the second year. And then, unexpected problems, they keep coming up, okay, we've been planning actually for over 6 months now. But, everything boils down to the last week and last 10 days. There's like so many new things that keep coming up, and sometimes we get frustrated. But, our team, we have lucky to, it's all about teamwork, right? So hats off to our team also. They've worked very hard since the first season, and hats off to all of them as well.
A few people, or not even individuals, a few companies that you definitely want to go ahead and say kudos to for making this possible so far?
Yeah, so, right from marketing, पहिले हामीलाई Makeways, now we Vichitra. Of course, the technical support of ANFA is, you cannot do this without them.
Yeah.
NSC, Sports Council, also very supportive in a lot of things. There are so many people to thank, and more importantly, our team. They've been working relentlessly for the last 2 weeks. And, once the tournament kicks off, मेरो load बरु अलि कम हुन्छ. अब उनीहरुको चाहिँ अझ मेहनत गर्ने
time. Nepal Sports and Event Management, right?
Yes, Nepal Sports and Event Management.
When did you guys start it?
2019.
19 मा हैन? अनि NSL first product भयो, तर in the future you definitely want to do other leagues too if everything pans out.
Yes, we do plan to get into other sports as well. Not just other sports. The dream is big, Sanjay. We think of hopefully, we want to create academies. We want to one day hopefully be able to open a sports university, but that's a dream. Let's see how far we'll get, but the plans are big.
अरू पोटेन्शियल कहाँ कहाँ छ होला फुटबल एउटा छँदैछ क्रिकेट त अफ कोर्स we've seen it all हैन what are the potentials do
We're
you think
exploring basketball as well.
We are close to finalizing and starting basketball very soon. हामीसँग बिचमा भलिबलको पनि कन्ट्र्याक्ट थियो. So volleyball being our national sport, it's huge.
it's humongous
Yes, it's huge, especially outside Kathmandu.
Oh.
It's massive. Unfortunately, हामी यहाँ NSL मा धेरै व्यस्त, फुटबलमा धेरै व्यस्त भएर we could not execute the volleyball. But I think there are other teams that's doing volleyball. But slowly we want to move out into other sports, and the most challenging is obviously cricket and football, but the other sports can also be quite a viable sector.
होइन यसपालिको production people can watch it on Himalaya television if I'm not mistaken
Yes, on Himalaya television. हामीले even in terms of production, we are getting the equipments from India. So नेपालमा अहिलेसम्मको कल्चर चाहिँ कस्तो छ भने you've got the news cameras going and clicking sports. That somehow was something that we did not want to do. So we've got the equipments coming in, we've got a team coming in, and the entire production will be led by them.
I remember you mentioned this to me earlier and then it's going to be broadcasted on Himalayan होइन
Yes.
मान्छेले कतिजनाले चाहिँ इन्टरनेसनल च्यानल्सहरूमा पनि गर्न मिल्छ कि पछि भन्ने कुरा भएको थियो होइन इज द्याट अ पोसिबिलिटी डाउन द रोड
Yes, there are lots of platforms that are interested in content from Nepal. In cricket, it's easier to air it outside because of the international players, the interest is higher outside. In football, it's a bit challenging, but it's something we're still exploring.
in the future probably we could work that out.
We have lots of future plans, but every year, comes with a new set of challenges. So let's see how it goes. We've tried to make it bigger and better every year, and I hope this year is even better than last time.
Yeah, and I saw NSEL's on board. Definitely, Khalti is taking care of. How can people buy tickets for it? Sabai Khalti?
Khalti and IME Pay.
IME Pay छ होइन Khalti र IME Pay छ होइन prices कतिबाट स्टार्ट छ
Tentative pricing is going to be 300 for the general and 600 for the VIP.
300 र 600 बाट चाहिँ छ ओके ओपनिङको प्लान्स
Durgesh Thapa.
दुश्मन हेरेको हेरे.
oh my god होइन उहाँ चाहिँ एउटा एक्जाम्पलरी फिगर हुनुहुन्छ होइन रिसेन्ट टाइम्समा होइन एकदम very 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 down to earth and very humble by the way.
Oh, yes.
त्योमा जोडी
Thanks to you, Sanjay, I got a chance to interact with him, and I was so impressed with the gentleman. I was, the minute I met him, I did not know too much about Durgesh Thapa, but the minute I met him, I said, yes, you are coming to the stadium, we are closing this, we will see you on the opening ceremony.
No event is possible without the love of fans. What can fans expect this year?
So we're also planning to get one international iconic player to come in as a guest. So till it's not finalized, we're not gonna announce who, but hopefully, if everything goes right, we'll announce it soon.
And what else can the fans expect this time? Players छँदैछन् अरू के
So योपालि हामीले के गरेछौँ भने हाम्रो we've got 2 Saturdays and बैशाख 1 गते which is a double header. So त्यो दिनमा चाहिँ हामीले बिचमा एउटा अलिकति म्युजिकल इभेन्टहरू गरेर we want to keep the ticket prices, you buy one, watch both the games. So try to make it more like a festival. Last year हामीले सिजन गर्दाखेरि अलिकति चिसो पनि थियो, so the attendance at the stadiums was a little low. This year it's beautiful time of the year. And we are not just trying to enhance the experience in the ground. Groundमा हामीले एउटा fan engagement को लागि NSL is planning a lot of things. हाम्रो second season of NSL भन्दा पहिले stadium भित्र पानी पनि पाउने कल्चर थिएन. You go in for the game, you walk out. If you've managed to sneak in a bottle, you've sneaked it in. Otherwise, you go back without drinking water. Then last year देखि हामीले कफीहरू introduce गर्यौं, त्यहाँ एउटा सानो food court जस्तो create गर्यौं, and that's become a culture. Similarly, we want to enhance that experience for the people coming to the stadium. Apart from that, even in terms of the viewing experience, I mentioned production-wise also, there's a lot of things. The equipment's coming from India, the team's coming from India. Football, my graphics plays a very important role. So we've got another team, except for the people coming with the equipment, we've got another team just coming to do the graphics for the season 3. So, we want to enhance the experience on the ground and on television, and we hopefully, most of the fans, we see you at the stadium. If not, please do watch us on TV.
And we've got TikTok as our entertainment partner as well.
So TikTok's going to do a lot of fun stuff too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So Chait Sora Bada Suru, that's March 29th, if I'm not mistaken, from
To
Saturday.
April 26th.
To April 26th, I know. Wow, fantastic. No, we talked about NSL. I know you guys run so many other things. You guys do so many other things, I know. Anything that we didn't touch base on that you wanted to share today?
I think we pretty much touched base on everything. Now I want the matches to start, NSL to start, see the stadium full, and get lots of amazing feedback and hopefully some amazing matches.
And I see, this is me personally saying this. I know. I want more female leadership, not just in sports, but in almost every spectrum of this country, and keep inspiring.
Thank you so
No.
much.
And we'll talk more on we'll plan, Vyas is going to plan a lot of things within the teams as well, and we'll try to support as much as we can this year and beyond as well. I wanted to say this, a lot of love to your husband, my brother, Nirvana Chaudhary, and the entire Chaudhary family for, always supporting personally me. I just want to say this, not just because you guys are there, I've always said this, but a lot of people don't realize that I've been friends with NC for such a long
really
time.
long time, I know.
Almost 16, 17 years of friendship, and it's always been a mentor to me, and I definitely want to thank you guys for that as well. And, it's coming here automatically. I learn a lot from you guys, and somehow we work on, synergize on things together. So-
Likewise, you've been a great friend as well, and he really values your friendship. I know that for sure.
And thank you so much for this, and we're going to do many, many things together. And again, best of luck. I know it's so difficult. Okay, मान्छेले त्यो बुझोस् भन्ने लाग्छ के मलाई हैन त्यो टाढाबाट हेर्दाखेरि त्यो 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 भइहाल्छ नि भन्ने हुन्छ
I know.
तर
There are some people, there's always this certain percentage of people who focus a lot on the negative and don't see all 90% of the positives. But, you learn to get over it. Overall, I have to say in NSL, we've got, mostly positive feedback.
And again, this is going to be a new benchmark, a new stepping stone, and we're always there to support. So again, thank you so much for coming, and come again. Welcome to the show,
Thank
and
you
come
so
again.
much,
Thank you
Sanjay.
so much, Sanjay.
Awesome.
Thank you.